our debate is going to be Star Wars versus Star Trek. Sean, we'll start with you.
Okay. So I'm just gonna go right out and say it. While I love both, Star Trek is the superior franchise. There's just more content to absorb, longer time span, way more. What if we're talking visual, let's not go into comics and books and things like that. Uh, Deals with more real issues. It's a little bit more cerebral, and by a little bit, I mean a lot more cerebral. I just think it's the superior. It's the superior franchise.
When you say more content, are you specifically talking about the TV shows, or like what do you mean by more content? Because
Sure.
I feel like there is a lot of Star Wars, like almost too much Star Wars at this point.
Well, we can go back. We've got 3 seasons of the original series, about 23 episodes each on that, 24. We've got Star Trek, the animated series from the 70s. Got,
I
what was it?
forgot that was a thing.
I think it was.
I didn't know that there was an animated one.
Oh yeah, and it was the cast. It was the cast from the show. Just came back 10 years later, played themselves in animated form. I think there's 2 seasons of that. Then we go into Star Trek: The Next Generation, which has 7 seasons, 24 episodes each season. Then we go into Star Trek: Deep Space Nine, 7 seasons, 24 episodes per season. Voyager, same, 7 seasons, 24 episodes. Enterprise, early 2000s, with Scott Bakula. We had 3 seasons with 24 episodes each. Let's go on to what came out next. Discovery. So they're getting ready to land their 5th season right now, and that'll be the final one. Star Trek Picard had 3 seasons. What else we got? Lower Decks, about ready to come in on the 4th season, or no,
that
4th season. Star Trek Prodigy, a kids show, which is very annoying. I hate that show, but I still watched it. I still watched it. 2nd season of that is about to drop, and I feel like Strange New Worlds, which is, in my opinion, even though I've been watching Star Trek since I was a kid, Strange New Worlds, hands down, in my opinion, is the best Star Trek series to ever air. They got 2 seasons right now that they just wrapped up, and then there's a couple more shows on the newest one. It is. And then also we'll go into movies. We've got if you go OG, we've got 6 movies with the original series, or with the original cast, and then season 7.
There was that many.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
It's
7 is Generations, and that started that mixed Kirk and Picard, and then we've got after First Contact. What was that? Oh, no. Then it was First Contact, Next Gen. Then they had 3 movies. So First Contact, Insurrection, Nemesis, which also had Tom Hardy in it as a clone of Jean-Luc Picard. And then after that, we had the J.J. Abrams reboot movies, which there were 3 of. I believe the 3, yeah. Star Trek, Into Darkness, and Beyond.
I only saw the first one.
I watched the first 2.
Nice. Okay. I the 3rd one, Beyond, that ended up being my favorite out of all of them. It was really good.
The first one was good.
There's a chance I watched it. I couldn't tell you. I've only watched them all once.
Nice. Yeah. But also, so if you took, and this was the original stuff before Star Trek before Star Trek came back. So we're not including Discovery, Picard, Strange New Worlds, Lower Decks, or the other animated one. If you just do all the original stuff before it went off the air for a long time, there's something like 789 episodes, and they're all an hour long. And I think I did the math one time, and if you didn't sleep and watched them all back to back, it would be like 33 days.
It's still less than One Piece.
Oh, is it really? That thing was massive. I never watched it.
Yeah, One Piece is at like 1,000 episodes or something crazy.
That is wild.
Are they an hour long now?
No,
I don't think so. I think they're half hour, but it's still insane.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then with the new ones, well, then again, and then you have 13 movies, and then you have all the new shows. So I'm guessing like maybe another 150 episodes on top of that, since that that calculation that I made that I just mentioned. What's
that show that's very similar to Star Trek, but it's with
The Orville.
The Orville.
Or The Orville, yeah.
I already knew it's The Orville.
Yeah.
That's a
I
fantastic
don't think
show.
I've ever heard of that one.
I like the Orville more than I like both Star Trek and Star Wars.
Dude, it is good.
There are three space shows that I like more than Star Trek and Star Wars. Orville's one of them. Red Dwarf is one of them. And there was one show that was on Yahoo's screen. It had one season. It was called Other Space. Absolutely loved it. Probably because they're all comedies. So
Probably, yeah.
that's probably why I love all three of those more. But Red Dwarf by far is probably my favorite. But
what about what's the with I can't think of his name, where he goes back in time. Or he doesn't go back in time.
Back to the Future.
Butterfly
Futurama.
Effect. Does Futurama count?
Futurama. I was thinking that too. Futurama. I also like Futurama more.
Is Quantum Leap the one you were thinking of?
Oh, I love Quantum Leap, but
Yeah, that's a good one.
No, I was thinking of Futurama.
Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap is weird and kind of problematic. Well, that one episode is really problematic.
It's not problematic. It does the opposite of being problematic. It's solving issues. Like the whole point of the show was to bring like things to the forefront and like show struggles and stuff like that. It's very like positive in a time where it was garbage TV.
To be fair, I've only seen the clip of that one part.
Is it
where it seems pretty bad?
Well,
is it
it's
like
probably out of context?
No. There's one for certain where he looks in the he looks in the mirror and he goes,
"Yep,
oh my god, I'm."
And no, that's actually a really all right. So that's the Jimmy Saga.
It's a good episode.
So it's a great episode with a great message, and yeah, I guess that one line, but like you're talking about a side, like I mean he's leaping from person to person, and it's also like the '90s, but I mean yeah, it's a great episode. It really is. People love it.
I do.
Don't take it
I
from
get
me.
what you're saying though about the problematic stuff.
Yeah,
there are a few questionable things that what no one blinked an eye at then, but you just can't, fast forward 30 something years.
Back then it's progressive.
Yeah, right. It was, yes. And then it's
in
like
the '90s.
He was like a pregnant woman in an episode.
Oh yeah, he was probably in a couple, but yeah.
Yeah, that was exactly the.
He was a
scene
woman
I
in
was
a couple
thinking of.
ones. Yeah.
There's a remake. Have any of you seen that?
Oh
remake?
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm in. I'm fully in. I love Quantum Leap.
I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, yeah, I don't see myself finishing this one, to be honest.
It gets better. It gets a lot better. The mystery box is fun, but oh yeah, no, I just love Quantum Leap.
That's my next show I'm watching, but I want to watch the original one first.
Yeah, for sure. Watch the original. I have them all on DVD. They're back there.
I started when the second one dropped, or the newest one or whatever, when it dropped, I watched the first episode and I was like, it's got a cool concept, but like I felt
you're
like
already gonna be confused because there's as much as they want it so people can jump in on it, you can't just jump in on it because there's a whole lore there. You can't just that you got to
leap into it.
Yeah, you can't leap into it.
I see.
I got them all up there.
Mike, what side are you on?
Oh, I'm on Star Trek.
Star Wars.
I've always been on side of Star Trek. I think Star Wars is good, and I think it has a lot. I mean, and I've always been on that side even before when it was just the 6 movies, and that was it. But I was still on the Star Trek side. Now there's too much. There's too much Star Wars in a short amount of time to be enjoyable, and I think it's mid. I think there's a lot of people that like too much Star Wars, and I'm over it. And I just like Star Trek more. I liked Star Trek before I even knew what Star Wars really was. My dad would watch it. I'd watch Next Generation growing up, sitting in the living room, and it just kind of was always a part of me. So I'm going Star Trek, man. The ships are way cooler.
Next Generation is the one with the guy from
Picard.
It's
the bald guy,
right?
No, yeah. LeVar Burton?
Yeah, LeVar Burton. Yeah, that's
correct.
Next Gen. Okay, I couldn't remember because they also had the guys with the really
big,
like the weird ears. I remember watching that.
Oh, maybe.
Joe?
The only Star Trek I've seen, I had to look it up. It's the one with Chris Pine. It's the very first one.
I have one more thing to say. The Enterprise is my favorite because Scott Bakula's in it, and he was in Quantum Leap. So
he's a good captain. He's good in that show too.
I like him too. Everybody, there's a lot of people that didn't like that series, but I That's still my favorite. I don't know, man. I liked it.
I want to pigtail off that real quick. My favorite relationship, like friend relationship in any Star Trek, is an Enterprise, and it's Captain Archer, Scott Bakula, and Commander Shran, the Andorian, and they've got this just phenomenal, like I don't know, on-screen chemistry and everything.
Yeah.
It's really great.
I need to go back and give that another
Kirk,
watch.
are you Team Kirk or are you Team Picard?
Me?
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go neither. I'm going to say I'm Team Cisco, which is Deep Space Nine. But if I had to choose, I don't know. I mean, Kirk would just run out and, you know, like kiss a lady and then sucker punch an alien. And so that's kind of cool. But then Picard's like, yo, let me just think this through. Diplomacy wins. And then he does that. So they work. I don't know. Yeah. I can't, hard choice.
Mike,
I like Picard.
what side you're going with Picard?
Picard for sure.
Joe, what side are you on? Star Wars or Star Trek?
Oh, it's Star Wars. I thought you were gonna ask between those, and I was like, I don't know. I'm going Star Wars though. It's always been a huge thing with me. Had a Star Wars wedding. My name is Obi-Wan Kenobi, not my real name, but I know, nerd. So couple things to bring up here. They have official Star Wars vehicles. I own one. They don't have Star Trek cars. So Nissan makes the Rogue Ones, named after the movie.
There's a Red Dwarf car. Yeah. Then it's sold for like $2,000 afterwards because it was a smart car.
$2,000?
Yeah. It was.
Was it like one of those like
they could upload it?
Huh?
Was it one of those like mini cars, like the ones that are really fucking small?
Yeah, it was only 2-seater. It was a 2-seater, and for the shoot, because they use it in one of the Red Dwarf seasons. Well, I guess it was a miniseries. They had to fit 4 people in it, so they had 2 of them sitting like in the back on boxes.
That's
That's
those
disgusting.
cars scare me. Like the ones where they're really tiny. Like I'm like, there's no
Those
way
people
I'm
are gonna
driving
die.
those things. Right? Like in the winter, you're just getting blown away.
I would never ride. If someone came to pick me up in one of those, I would never get into it.
You know, I'm just in general a massive science fiction fan. I didn't know that there was a Rogue One car. I did not know that there was a Red Dwarf car either. I find that.
Yeah, there's 500 black Nissan Rogue Ones and then 500 white ones. So I have a black one. So you can't really like super tell that it's a Star Wars car unless you know that it exists, because basically it says Star Wars along the bumper, and then it has the Empire logo on the side, the Rebel, and then the oh my god, I can't even think.
How can you not tell unless you know that it exists? Because I feel like if I saw that and it says Star Wars on the bumper, and then there's
because it looks like it could just
like
be. It looks like it could
nerd
just be like I'll
Put
pull
some
up
decals on the car.
Oh, that very true, very true.
Yeah, so that's what it looked. The only thing that really indicates that it is a like official Star Wars car is that there is like a plaque on the door that shows that it's like a official Star Wars Rogue One edition. I'm pulling up a picture of it right now.
Okay. You know, actually, there was a
like,
Star Trek vehicle, a space shuttle that they actually named the Enterprise, and then they shut it off into space.
Damn it. But yeah, this is, I mean, like I said, there's this little plaque right here. You really can't tell.
My boss has a Terminator I think 3 truck he just got recently. It's a cool truck, but then it just says Terminator 3 on the side.
That's the worst movie too.
You're right, and I'm just like, it's still cool.
T2 would have been better.
Yeah, no, it's Terminator 3.
So right here, it's just this plaque basically.
That is a pretty sharp looking car though, and I like that it's all black or all white.
But when you open it though, the interior, the carpets say Star Wars, and then the doors say Star Wars, and they light up. So like inside the car, it looks more of a Star Wars vehicle than on the outside. But I think it's nice that it's not too crazy. I've only had like 2 or 3 people that were like, "Holy shit, that's a Star Wars car."
That's cool. That's cool.
So that's one thing I brought up. I didn't know there was a spaceship, so that kind of blows mine out of the water.
It's just one though.
Right, true.
You only need
1,000
one.
of these. Lightsabers, the coolest fucking weapon ever. I think that's what
I like do like melee weapons, but that's about it.
I'm going to go with the Klingon Batleth on that one. This nice little half circle crescent with some other blades in there. I think it's pretty wild.
It's pretty bad.
Lightsabers are sick though. I'm not
can
going to
it cut through things?
Yeah, people like no problem. Yeah.
What about doors?
Maybe I've never seen it happen.
If it's sharp enough.
You don't
would you have to
see
sit? Would you have to sit there and like hack at it though, or
the door?
I feel like if you can hack through a human, you can hack through a door.
But in Star Trek, all you got to do is walk up to the door.
Yeah,
and
you
just
just gotta
opens.
walk through
So
the
like,
door.
I mean, you don't have to cut it down. You just like walk in with your batleth and.
True, you could
Cut
do
the
that
humans.
in Star Wars too, though, because you got the Force, which the Force I think is awesome too. I don't know if
It
they
is.
have anything like that in Star Trek, but
Yeah.
I mean, it basically is like a superpower. Is there any type of like powers at all in Star Trek?
No, they're just aliens.
Well,
Just
I mean,
aliens?
like there's,
I mean,
there's stuff.
aliens have powers and shit.
Yeah, I mean, like Vulcans do mind melds, and they can,
Yeah.
read all your thoughts and transfer their memories and consciousness into your body. And then there's other people who are, what they can, I can't think of what it's called, empaths, where they can actually literally understand what people are feeling through, some sort of psychic bond. There's some things, but like not a lot,
Okay.
But
There's no like overarching thing.
I
Yeah.
have a Star Trek Doctor Who crossover comic series.
Oh,
That's
shit.
also a point for Star Trek. 'Cause Doctor Who's also badass. So
that's
Doctor Who's another show I'll probably never start. No, I'm
yeah,
not-
because
watched
it has
one
so many
episode of
seasons,
it.
but
I
it's
will
amazing.
never start.
I watched
Who's
one episode of
amazing.
it, and it ruined mannequins
Oh,
for
it's
me.
so good. Good.
It's the only episode I've ever seen, and I was like, "Fuck this."
I recommend you just skip a season. If that was the problem for you. You skip. You just have to. Honestly, you could skip.
seasons.
You could skip to the second season of the new
I gotta
series.
watch all of it. That's the issue.
I mean, you
Too
can't.
much.
It's good. It's good. The first season's still good. If
I'm
you
so
can't
bad
get
with
through,
that. When I watch something, I have to. watch
Rose
it
is a
all.
good episode. That's actually what hooked me because I tried to watch it 3 times. I started the first episode 3 times, and my ADHD kicked in every time. But the obviously the last time I watched it, and I really paid attention, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty fucking cool." And I had absolutely no idea what it was about. Like I went in completely blind, and I was just blown away. And then after that, it was over. Like,
Is it on anything?
yeah, it's HBO or Max.
Of course.
I have everything.
Yeah. Star Wars intro song is very, very unique. I feel like everyone knows that,
Oh yeah,
and it's a fucking banger, especially with the credits rolling up.
yeah.
That's used for a lot of stuff too. A lot of people have
Yeah.
used that credits for everything.
Heavily parodied for certain. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the video
I just
games.
thought of one.
I can't think of many video games with Star Trek that are great, but I feel like the Star Wars ones are phenomenal.
I think there's Star Trek Online that was pretty fun. I played that for a little while, but other than that,
There was one for Xbox 360 where you just it wasn't you never controlled a person. You just controlled like a ton of different ships, and then it was just like ship to ship like dog fighting. And I thought that one was really good. Actually, it was called Star Trek Legacy, which there is going to be the name of a new show. But that one was really good. And yeah, it's I don't know. It's Star Trek games.
there was also a VR game where you.
There's
you were a
43 Star
character.
Trek games.
Is there really? Jesus Christ!
They went. It was the same era when
The 90s.
Star Wars games started being PC, and then
Yeah.
have like live action cutscene stuff. Like that was definitely a big thing. There's a bunch of Klingon ones and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was definitely. They
Yeah,
were
there's not-
releasing like 4 a year in the 90s.
anything
God.
to write home about.
Yeah, because it was
That was their heyday. They had 3 shows on it.
it was every year from 85 to 88. So 85, 86, 87, 88. 93 they released 2, 94 they released 3, 95 they released 3. Yeah, so it's like
Yeah,
3 to
so-
4 a year from what I'm seeing is what they were coming out with. And then it
That's a
slowed
lot.
down, and they haven't had one since 2017, it looks like.
There was a well, you were getting ready to say, Mike was going to say there was a VR one that was actually
Yeah.
very recent, like I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe
that was
like
a
right
VR.
before everything.
It
Yeah.
was like deck captain or something with
Bridge Crew.
bridge. Yeah, that's it.
That was 2017.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was a little longer than I
Yeah,
thought.
that- and
Yeah, that's crazy. That was 6
that
years
one,
ago.
that one I heard was really fun, but I mean, I don't play VR games really, so
They got for the promo for that, they got people from like the different shows together and then had them play their role in the VR game. Like not necessarily their character, but like, okay, you're the captain, you're the navigator and secure, like all that stuff. And those commercials were very entertaining at the very least.
The Star Wars VR games are fucking nuts.
I've heard they're good.
They like I've almost fell a few times when like there's like a part where Vader will like grab you and it like rips you towards him. But like just so I don't know if you've ever done like VR, but when you're in it for a while, you feel like you're in it. So when something like that happens, it just catches you off guard.
Joe's gonna get stuck in like a Sword Art Online. Like
I would be all over that.
Yeah, but you're gonna die in the game. I see you dying.
No, I'm not gonna
see
get
somebody
stuck in
killing you in the game.
I do golf a lot on there, like daily, like 18 holes.
You're gonna get stuck in a golfing.
Do you remember there's a movie?
Sword Art.
There's a movie from like I think it's either the early or late 80s or early 90s where it's a.
If you say Tron, I swear to God, I'm gonna punch you.
No, it's not Tron. It's a husband and a wife, and it's the actor from
John Ritter.
Simple Rules. Yeah, is it John Ritter?
I don't know. There's one I'm thinking of with John Ritter, but
well, you said Eight Simple Rules, so yeah, John Ritter.
Yeah, it's John Ritter. Yeah, it's John Ritter. Yeah,
you said it.
Yeah, it's him. It's him and like his wife on that in the movie.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They get sucked into like the satellite.
Yep.
And they have like there's one where they like have to wrestle and like there's like a game show and like if they lose they like die and like go to hell or something.
What's this called?
I don't know. Remember the name of the movie?
I think
John Ritter.
They got sucked into TV.
John Ritter.
Was what I was.
They get sucked into like the TV.
That's
satellite.
a fucking horror movie, man. Is it a horror movie?
It's not a horror movie. It's a comedy.
No, it was like a teeny. It was like for teenagers.
That could
and like
definitely be remade into a horror movie, right? Like
Stay tuned.
Definitely do this.
It was Stay Tuned.
Okay.
Yeah, is the name of it.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I've never heard of this.
A suburban couple who are sucked into a television world by an emissary of hell, and they must survive for 24 hours in order to be released from it. It was released in 1992.
Open this because you can watch that on YouTube for free. Apparently,
yeah, it's on YouTube for free. Apparently, it's old.
I do see that John Ritter is in something else that's pretty scary. The Cosby Show.
Yeah, but it's not a horror movie. It's a comedy. But you could remake that into a horror.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, speaking of comedies, another like how we talked about the Orville for Star Trek. Star Wars has Spaceballs.
Oh yeah, Spaceballs is fantastic.
Yeah, there's a great Black Mirror episode which parodies Star Trek.
That was a
great
effed up episode. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on your show, so
yeah.
That was an effed up episode.
Say whatever the fuck you want.
That episode was fucked up, dude.
So I've watched all Black Mirror. I might not have known that it was a Star Trek parody. Wait, was it the one with
yes.
Oh my god,
with the dude from Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night. Oh, you threw me off. I was gonna say Breaking Bad.
It was like season 4, I think.
Pretty sure it was a kid from Friday Night Lights.
I have no idea. I haven't watched Friday Night Lights, and I've only watched like 3 or 4 episodes of Black Mirror.
Black Mirror is a sleeper show. That is one of the best shows.
It is a great. I have to watch the new season, but I'm gonna watch it with my girlfriend, and we haven't had a chance to yet.
Season 4, episode 1, USS Callister.
Oh yes, I do remember this one. Okay.
And that kid.
Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
I somehow didn't realize that was a Star Trek one, but looking at it, it's definitely Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the best episodes, honestly.
Friday Night Lights.
The episode I remember the most is the video game one. Well, that's the first one I ever saw.
Hooking up with the boys.
Hooking up with the boys.
That was a wild episode.
It's
all right. Once per year, you can fuck your boy.
Oh yeah. That was a lot of your first episode, right? Like
a lot of people I know, like that's the first episode.
That's the first episode they saw, which is wild, and I think that's because Netflix did this weird thing. Is when you went to go watch it, watch that, it did it backwards. So you watch the end of it first, and so that episode would come up as when people would just press play.
Yeah, I hate that about Netflix with Black Mirror for some reason, that it's all completely backwards.
It's backwards. It's dumb. I don't
Yeah.
understand either.
I will say though, if you guys like Black Mirror, there's a podcast that's called Big Loop, and it's pretty spot on to how Black Mirror is with like the individual episodes, and then them just having like crazy fucked up endings and stuff. It's super good.
There's a show. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say it reminds me of The Outer Limits.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
definitely.
an analogy.
Yeah, and it's kind of got that same type of like what if, type of vibe with it. And then, I mean, more, I think more so than just an anthology series. Like it's got that kind of creepy twist type of thing. And you could definitely compare it to like, Outer Limits and like old school, like Twilight Zone episodes that had something to do with like some weird technology type of thing, and it's pretty, yeah. I do like Black Mirror a lot. I just finished up the newest season of it, and I thought it was interesting. It like wasn't as technology driven. I didn't feel like as like everything else had been. I liked it though.
Definitely changed. I mean, they definitely did something to the formula, like, but it is what it is.
I feel like it's hard for them to come up with new stuff when it's a show like that.
Yeah,
Sure.
they're coming with new
There's a
ideas all
lot
the
of
time.
early episodes that I do like to go back and rewatch, like the dating app episode. That one's always one of my favorite ones. The one where she gets uploaded, to the server. That's one of the best episodes of television of all time.
I like the social media one a lot, where it's like you get your rating, like
yeah.
They
did that in Community. I think they did in Community first. Meow Meow Beans.
Oh, I have not seen Community. I keep hearing great stuff.
Community's amazing.
I'm just watching reruns of Star Trek all the time. So
Star Wars? Did you say Star Wars?
I watch reruns.
Something I had to climb. I don't know.
I watch so many different reruns, but I watch it all for bedtime. So like, just throw something on
I
at
am
bedtime.
not watching Black Mirror before bed.
Oh, I will. I'll definitely do that. There's definitely episodes like there's
it's
good
not
episodes.
scary.
There's no, but if I put my sleep timer on and I put on like this that one where she gets uploaded, that that's a feel good episode. Like you could definitely fall asleep to that. I forgot what it's called, like Sand something.
So is the video game one. That's definitely a feel good episode.
Feel good for somebody.
But I'm ready to pass judgment. So the winner and the better of the two is going to be Star Wars. I'm more invested.
I knew you were
going to
say that, but you couldn't even say Boba Fett's name.
Robert Fett.
Who is Baba?
You're like Boba Fett. What's a Boba Fett?
Baba Yaga?
I like both. I definitely have watched more Star Wars. I do agree that there's too much Star Wars.
This sounds like bias, and I'm putting this back.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but there definitely is. Being a huge Star Wars fan, there's too much Star Wars, and they need to fucking chill.
It's not even that there's too much Star Wars. There's too much Star Wars in a short amount of time.
Now there's too much
because there's the 6, and then everything that's too much, it just fucking came out within the last.
Disney's just ruining everything.
They're running.
There's too much Marvel. There's too much Star Wars.
Understand? Like
there's too much Pokemon.
And this is why this is why the WWE didn't give anything to the fans, because they want and they want and they want, and then you give them too much and they complain that you get too much.
Yes, but
also fuck Vince McMahon.
This is the issue with geek culture, like
having
taken over the world. There's too much of it now. Like they're just ramming it down our throat.
I disagree.
The neckbeards are too loud.
Wait, Sean, are you saying that there's not enough content?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Really?
So, something for me when I am looking to get into some new media, there either has to be something that maybe I haven't seen before that I know has a massive lore and a lot of content to go along with it, or it has to be something that has been like optioned for like a massive amount of time where I know the franchise is going to go in a certain way where there's just so much that they're going to keep building on it. And I am also a massive Star Wars fan. In fact, I don't want to talk about how old I am, but the first movie I ever saw in movie theaters was Return of the Jedi. And then, so I only had the 3, and then the books were in the early 90s when I was like in middle school or going into high school. And then the prequel came out and I loved them. I never hated any of those. I think that Rogue One is hands down the best Star Wars movie that's ever existed. There's just it's perfect. It's an absolute perfect film. And anyway, but so more content. Mandalorian. I love all of Mandalorian. I think it's great. Book of Boba Fett. I'm going to go ahead and say I like it. I can't, they're the creative forces that drive it. So if they take something or a character in a different way, it's not up for me to feel, incensed by that. Like, that's their move. I don't want them to cater their shows to me. I want to fall in love with the shows that they come out with. And I've been really enjoying the content. And I thought Solo was also an insanely good movie. And I don't understand why people shit all over that one. But I don't think there's enough content. Like, bring on these, like, come on, bring me Ahsoka. Let's get into that, and let's, whatever else. And yeah, the Acolyte. Really Ahsoka is gonna. I'm super pumped about that. But anyway, more content. Keep it coming, Disney. Just don't. I don't
have time for all that. Like, I don't have time for the content. Like, there's too much content. Like, there's already stuff. There's just too much in general, and not even just Star Wars, and just in general. There's just too much.
I just wish they would take their time with it more.
It might be my ADHD kicking in. There's I just can't focus.
I get so overwhelmed.
I just don't do
everything. And then the stuff that I do go out and I'm like, all right, let me try this. It's awful. It's just like I really want to, like, I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, I can't. I'm thirsting to get into something new, and it's just not happening. Like, there's nothing out there that's really sucking me. And now I did just watch Ghosts. Ghosts was great, but there's only 2 seasons of the American Ghosts. And I don't even know if we're going to get it back because the writers and actors strike. So who knows when that's coming back. But
I don't think that the shows, like the Star Wars shows, I don't think that they're awful. I just don't think that they're amazing.
No, and I'm not even just talking about those. I'm just talking about in general. But
like, I'm fine with the content, but like, I wish it would just be spread out a little more, just put a little more time into it. Cause like, if they want to make side character stuff, that's fine. But like, Boba Fett he said one sentence in the movie and then he just fucking popped off and he gets his own show. And like, I just feel like they're going to start doing that with other characters too. Like, Boba Fett is huge. I don't even really understand why. Like, he was cool in the movies, but for some reason he's getting his own show. And now I just feel like there's going to be like some other random ass bounty hunter that's going to get their show, or some Jedi that was in the background of episode 2 when they're dueling in the arena.
Just a few years ago, all these shows that you're getting would have been comic books.
Yeah, well, I mean, Boba Fett's lore has been since Return of the Jedi, and there are dozens and dozens of books with him in it, just being an absolute badass and just killing people, disintegrating, like all kinds of crazy stuff. And so like there was like people latched on him and liked him, and then they just started doing expanded universe stuff with him in comics and books, and that went a long way. But another thing about the content, I don't think it's Disney screwing everything up. I think that the backlash with the sequel trilogy versus the stuff that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are doing, I think that which was more, I think that stuff was more well liked than the sequel trilogy. And now I think there's some sort of weird pissing contest between, on one side, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and then Kathleen Kennedy on the other side. Like I felt like she made that Obi-Wan show real quick and pushed it out, and it was kind of lackluster. And
I really like that show.
I liked it. I think Andor has been the best show that they've done so far. But
that's the only one I haven't seen yet.
Oof,
I'm
it's
gonna
so
wait
good.
10 years, and then in 10 years, I'm gonna wait till everything's done coming out, and then
it's not gonna be done
because
they're not gonna.
Then
stop.
I'm just never gonna watch it. It's that simple. Like there's enough shit. There's enough content, and I can rewatch Friday Night Lights at least 10 more times. So we're good.
You just got to keep up with the content as it's coming.
Like, I'll just back Friday Night Lights and Lost for the next 10 years, and I'll be all right. Like, those are my safe space.
Yeah, they're never gonna stop. But
I just want to say something real quick. Judge D Money, you've passed judgment here, and so if this is I'm going to assume this is maybe some sort of criminal court. Can I bring this back to like a civil circuit and see if we can can I get
Yeah,
a mistrial here?
It's
Because
gonna.
you are biased, and I just we get a special counsel from some. I don't know. We need something else here. High five, Mike. Don't leave me hanging. Come on.
No. It's gonna go back through the courts. We're already planning an appeal.
There's already a list of appeals.
There's already an appeal.
God.
This is gonna go into the appeal.
I love
list
that.
because this is.
I
Definitely...
also agree, just because that was the best call out that we've had.
Sir, that was definitely biased.
Judge.
You already knew you were gonna pick. There was absolutely no way. Like, you already claimed one guilty and you were ready to pass judgment. You didn't even need to hear the case. What are we all here for?
She's a witch.
This is some crucible shit. It will not stand. I don't like this.
It's all right. My lawyers will be my people will be in touch.
We are your people.
We're filing the paperwork.
You know, I'm okay with that call. That's okay. That's okay. They're both fantastic franchises.
But speaking of being in touch or being in touch with oneself,